mother. Yeah.
It's just Bernie!
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
All right, it is the middle of the night, as per usual, my steez. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This one's also going to be probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We're going to cover some of the Alberta Badlands that I explored last summer, starting around this time of year. And that I plan on revisiting, going back to, and further investigating this year. And this right here, we are looking at one of the many hillsides, the faces of the Medicine Hat Badland Guardian site, the geoglyphs discovered by Arthur Ferrum of the Ferrum Foundation, that we will also go over briefly again today here. And this is the ferrumfoundation.com website section of his geoglyphology of the Medicine Hat Badland site. And the faces here, this warrior guardian facing to the west and making up his crown, the headdress facing east, potentially what looks like an Olmec face, as well as directly across facing west again from the Olmec face, potentially an Aztec or Inca looking mask. And we will also briefly cover tonight, finish covering what I meant to cover last night on the other stream that was very brief, of the Olmec statues, as well as the different megalithic advanced, huge, giant monoliths and Mayan discoveries, and the earliest pictures of them that I have been able to find here on Pinterest. This one, I believe. Oh, no, it doesn't. Not going to tell us the exact location. I'm guessing this is probably in Mexico, but I could be wrong. It could be anywhere through Peru, Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Central America as well. It's wild, still being discovered today everywhere. Tikal, I guess, is that Mexico, but there's Honduras as well. But these absolutely insane, overgrown, advanced pyramid cities, megalithic, giant, overgrown, lost, high technology. And that when they were all first discovered and documented, and they all had to be dug out of layers of earth, of mud, as well as vegetation overgrowing them, often being mistaken and misidentified, mislabeled as hills and mountains, when in fact it's the buried ruins of former past mega metropolis, advanced megalithic built giant cities of these pyramid builder cities. And they're being found now and you know, actually started to be investigated and researched finally. And it's in all of these areas that the institutions, the academics, have vehemently defended and argued and stated as fact for decades now, that there was never ancient human civilizations or populations inhabiting these areas. It's just impossible. And it's like, oh wait, no, literally everything is terraformed and built by previous super advanced, super large societies and civilizations of mass amounts of. Were they other species of hominids? Was it what are the old men of renown, the giants, these titans, these potential demigods slash off-world aliens, gods with a little g, right? Who knows? And then their genetics mixed between us, both the Old Testament, I believe, as well as no, forgive me, very late at night, took a giant dab of shatter before starting and just wrecked me. I was working all day. I meant to upload a couple of brief shorts that I took out at my good friend Ted's acreage. Shout out Ted. I was helping him do some clearing of land of timber of forest that they were taking down as a precaution around the house in case of potential forest fire and the coming forest fire season, as well as it's smart and it's work and it's awesome. Speaking of work, it also looks like I will be starting in June a new job at a build site development of my friends, the Joma family. It's a large construction build of retail as well as commercial apartments. So that'll be interesting. And on top of all of that, Tuesday, finally going back and figuring out the plan of moving forward to continue setting up my silk screening and getting printing again and figuring out all of that fun business. And if there's anyone out there listening that is good at drop shipping, as well as working like the Amazon sales and what's the other different online clothing sales sites and apps? Oh my God, I gotta get all of that figured out. It's a lot, but it's crucial. It's business and it needs to be done. And I need to get that done. Also, I've got to get myself monetized into the Facebook, the Instagram, aka the Metasphere, as well as X. And in the X sphere of things, shout out Ashton Forbes and the Orbs work. It's actually, whether you want to believe it's real or not, or the credibility of the videos, everything Ashton has put forward and continues to put forward, absolutely still on point. He's proven one hell of a case that he's actually getting all of the science community in our research, real science community, apex slash alternative energies and alternative propulsion research and development into the actual sciences, connecting it to the works of such as Tom Bearden, just like shout out to Dutch Sense, and Dutch Sense does all the time, as well as, of course, Jeremy Reese, Alien Scientist, all of them. And we will be doing new shows or interviews with all of those people throughout this summer, as well as covering the Montana megaliths again with both Wandering Wolf as well as Walter Bosley and Malia Grimm coming back on to do a specific episode on that, just like to be covering right now. So we will get back to covering the Alberta as well as Montana megalithic sites and these macro sites, right? Like, look at these. This is identical stuff to the Nazca, Peru geoglyph mega terraformed sites, and that is one of the other geoglyph sites that Arthur Ferrum actually used his geoglyphology to decode the radial earthwork geoglyphs at the Nazca, Peru geoglyphs. I believe it was the pentagram site of geoglyphs and lines that mapped out and plotted to the Medicine Hat Badland Guardian site. And that was the second site, I believe. He said maybe the third. I believe it was either the Egyptian, one of their ancient, maybe in the pyramids, maybe in Karnak geoglyph sites, as well as I believe the Bosnian pyramid sites, that all originally pointed to this Medicine Hat Badland area, and why he began looking at it and then identified these faces. And he was the first that I became aware of this site myself over a decade, maybe two, at least a decade and a half now, if not longer. And that has driven me to continue researching the site, to actually go out and visit it last year, and that will be going back to in depth this year, and hopefully others will be coming. And here Arthur Ferrum is showing the headdress of the Aztec and comparing it to what is being displayed at this site, as well as the Olmec here face that's on the upper corner of this original Badland Guardian. And then, of course, the headdress, the Mayan with the feathered headdress. Some call it the dragon headdress, but it is indeed this headdress, crown, hat, whatever you want to call it, war armor, helmet, maybe even crown, but of this figure that looks like a Mayan or Aztec as well. Maybe even, who knows, could be Caucasian, could be Polynesian, could be Asian, could be many faces, but bearded individual. It looks, who knows. Regardless, that site I went to and we're going back to, and the main point of it that we found, the main discovery, is that exact figure, this is one of the hillsides making up that figure, massive, hundreds of feet tall, and that you can see these perfect terraces, and they are ancient terraces that build are literally lining every single parallel foot to meter. I need to actually go and measure the distances between them, but very consistent, very parallel, and literally making up every single face, every single side of the hills. So this right here, this hump, this long piece, this is actually part of that feathered or dragon, that branched piece, this right here. So this area right here, if you can see my mouse, this branch is actually, this hill right here is the middle of that, connecting to the head, because this is the road behind it, go point of view taking that picture, and then the end of it out here. But the point being that it is all these parallel terraces, this evidence of macro terraforming, of intelligent construction, and you see continued here, and every angle. It's insane. And here's another one on top, this one. So this is the end connecting in. Oh, there is me and my dog. So shout out to my mom's, Janice, taking this picture from the car on the road that's not between the two faces, but then when it comes down at a 90-degree angle, adjacent to the branch of that feather or that dragon coming off the helmet or the headgear, and that you can see that just 2 to 3, about 2 terraces makes up my body, right? Like my legs there between one of them, and then my waist size up to my head making up another one, as well as here's the dog. So anyways, it's everywhere. It's massive. And when I talked to the property owner briefly on the phone, they did not, they just tried to say that it was natural, but that their family's owned, farmed it for generations. They've never constructed anything. They don't take tractors up there. This is nothing to do with them. It is part of this ancient macro terraformed structures, and that still to this day, every single, so here you can see this natural animal path track going up this hill face, and that is against grain, but there you go. That's modern compared to what it was. Here we have last June's Alberta sun through the forest fire smoke, thus the concern of the prevention. And already in Alberta today, and for the last few weeks now, I believe, it is actually hazy, the full smell of forest fire smoke in the air for weeks now. And I guess it's officially forest fire season in Alberta has started and been burning for a while. But that's kind of a joke, because it's like, I don't believe it's like until July, maybe June. No, it's like July that it's officially started. Anyways, we're on fire already. And while I spoke to the owner of the adjacent Badland Guardian face, that he at that time himself was so afraid of brush fire breaking out that he wasn't comfortable with myself, a stranger, going on and exploring and hiking the other main geoglyph site. But I do have his contact. I actually need to get back on top of calling him and scheduling a trip out and a visitation and a meeting and an interview of one of the owner, rancher, farmer, property owners of one of these sites and the research that we're going to be doing out there. This right here. So, geographically speaking, on the map, you have Medicine Hat, Alberta, in the very southern strip of Alberta, along the Crow's Nest Road past the number 3, and on the northeastern side. So if you're coming from eastern Alberta or eastern Canada, aka Saskatchewan or Winnipeg or Ontario, Quebec, or any of the Maritimes, that side of Medicine Hat is where the Medicine Hat Badland Geoglyph site is, and this site, the Red Rock Coulee Badlands, is on the southwest side of Medicine Hat, southern Alberta City. And this right here, a close-up of one of the red balls, the giant red balls of Red Rock Coulee, Alberta. So I believe it's only about 50 kilometers between the two sites, with Medicine Hat in the middle, and then one on the northeast side, one on the southwest side, this being the southwest side. Here you can see all these rings, the concentric rings, making up the inside of one of these giant red sandstone spheres that had cracked open at the Red Rock Coulee. All right, so I guess that was the end of that folder. So we're going back inverse again. So here, this is the very end of that giant horn, the protrusion, the feather, the dragon of that Aztec Mayan warrior helmet. And you can see all the way along the entire ridge line. And this is the end where it's going down into the valley, breaking down into nothing. Every single way, there's the parallel, massive, continued terraces, like just everywhere. It's so consistent and so prolific and evident, and there it is undeniable. And that is what is making up the foundations of all of these massive hills of the Medicine Hat Badland geoglyph faces. So it's undeniable that when the owners of the land that have been farming, settling this area for generations, they're ranchers, cattle ranchers, I believe, cowboy folk, settlers, good peeps, and also indigenous, I believe, in the area too, but not on this site. I think it should be actual sacred land. It'll probably turn out that way. It needs to be excavated, but it needs to be respected. It needs to be researched, and it needs to be done right. And I want to be a part of that, and I'm going back to do exactly that in the next 2 to 3 months, depending on the weather and what the owners are willing to do, and what we can arrange with all of you, the viewers, the community, and partners coming. All right, so this is back to Red Rock Coulee on the opposite side of Medicine Hat. And this, you again can see a broken open one and all of the concentric circles making it up. So is this biogeology? Is this petrified organic matter? And then this, what looks also to be pretty mound-like slash pyramidal, buried, dried out mud flood, badland. Like these ruins, like look at this, like it's wild. There you go. You can see burning again. Actually going out doing boots on the ground, and then here we can see these same holes that are attributed to in a lot of megalithic ancient sites to the ancient indigenous as actual work and tool usage of it. But here I'm showing that actually there's this outer coating, and that the ones that try to claim that this is just water erosion and stone erosion, you can clearly see that this outer shell isn't broken in there. And in fact, these two pieces are actually the chips that came off of right here, the outer red harder shell. And then this is just like dirt and sand that's filled up in the bases of these. And that, yeah, here a couple pieces chipped off as well going in there. So it's evidence that whatever it is, it's not erosion, in fact, right? So here you can see, right, it's actually darker, not lighter, hasn't been chipped through, and that's from water that has seeped in, rained in there, and then evaporated out, and the residue remaining in there. Here's a chip of the outer layers as well. Like, I don't know, some rocks it's called pica or whatever. Here you can see the mica, the plant aerial algae vegetation stuff that takes forever to grow, but that layers some of the stuff or lives on stones, just like this stuff, I believe, or what did I call it? Anyways, get back to that. It's late in the night, 3:45 a.m. So here you can see right there, again, pieces of the inner sandstone that have been broken through, and the outer coating of it all. Potential petroglyphs? Like, are those stars carved in there? That's looking like constellations almost. Interesting. That, I'll have to get back to that. Could be just seeing things. It's late at night. I took a giant dab, THC, before the stream, and was working all day. So who knows? Could be exhaustion, could be hallucinating. I'm just kidding. But I actually have noticed that on several sites, including Mount Yamnuska. But that's a story more for another day. Here, looking over Red Rock Coulee, one of the valleys of this badland, just absolutely everywhere. These things are massive, like erratics, and on the top of everything, right? Like, you think they would sink, not float. Here you go, Red Rock Coulee Natural Area. Several different hills and valleys, large area. Oops, canola. But yeah, look at that. These are lots of mounds within this badlands site. And we are going through some of ye old wind farms of southern Alberta, Rainbow, and oh, here we go. This is on one of the ridges. Is it potential megalithic wall? I suspect so. And it looks like it's in equal levels of parallel, I believe, possibly mountain pyramid site of ruins. Like, this totally looks like a pyramid. of equal parallel terraces. This is on the Cowboy Trail of Alberta. And like, look at that. That looks like giant megalithic walls of potential pyramids. Like, how is that not a pyramid? I'm telling you, there's hundreds of them, and that they actually connect to the site of just further down along. So this site here is in between. It's still just off of the number 3 highway, the southernmost highway route of Canada. And this is the Alberta part going right on the foothills going into the Rockies of the Crow's Nest Pass. And this is right after Lundbrick. This is on the road up south that connects to Black Diamond and eventually Okotoks. And on the main number 2 highway up at the end of the site at the same area is, when it hits the Crow's Nest Pass, is Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. And that's what we're going to be looking at next. And it is also a giant, massive, megalithic pyramid site, just like this one is. Like, look at the layers, perfect terraces. And if they're macro terraforming such giant sites as the faces of the Badland Guardians, then it's completely reasonable that just over in, a few, not even, less than 60 miles from the Medicine Hat, or maybe, I guess, 60 miles from Medicine Hat Badland Guardian site to this site, but all along the same longitude, I believe, of the Crow's Nest. And this area, ever since I first saw it, I was like, that is artificial. That is a buried mound. No doubt about it. Like, that's a buried mound. Artificially constructed. My belief. Oh, we got... Damn, I am in the wrong. My apologies. I am in the wrong folder there. Sorry. Let's... Oh, come on. Well, we'll bring up this guy again. And in the meantime, let's actually try to find that. Oh dear. Hold on. All right. We will finish this up. Here again, we have the headdress, the Mayan feather serpent headdress, being depicted by Arthur Pham. And that is where I went to explore. These are the different geoglyph sites, the different numbers in the bottom valley. There's also a top valley that he hasn't covered, that he's unaware of, that has additional figures and faces. Here's the radials plotted out of the different sites at the Badland Guardians geoglyph earthworks that he shows connects to all these other ancient geoglyph sites in the world, including the Nazca, Peru sites, which is also on his website. And that right there is the territory that it plots out to, and you can see that it hits Giza, it hits Hawaii, it hits Mexico City, it hits like a spot in Cuba. It goes through the Azores. It goes through Bosnian pyramids. It goes through Greenland. It goes all over. It's just insane, the different sites that Arthur Ferrum has shown here, and calculated through his different degree radials that he does, and that he's decoded, and that this is just one of the many different sites, including the Yonaguni, Japan, the under ocean pyramid site that has to predate the Younger Dryas catastrophe events, and that he has shown that it plots out to the same size of territory that Japan controlled at the height of its empire of World War II militarily, as well as that it bombed Hawaii trying to get there. And here you can see the same structures underwater. That's the Yonaguni Pyramid, where it's located. And here he's showing all the different angles that the different carvings, the different faces of this structure. Each one of these like just giant walls. And then he's showing how he measures the angles and the lengths of these different measurements of the walls, and then he plots them out, and they perfectly plot out and match to all of these other ancient geographic sites of civilizations and islands and lands and cities that have existed forever, and so have these same empires apparently. And here's showing the height of World War II, and here's showing the map of everywhere that the Yonaguni plots out to, and it's the exact same. Quite fascinating stuff. Here are some more geoglyphs that he found that are built into one of the Yonaguni walls that he found from that. And this is on a southern island just off of Taiwan, another geoglyph site just off the coast of it. And then he's showing that these underwater ones here actually plot out to this giant destruction area between there you go. So here's the little island of Taiwan. These radials plot out, and that they go to these some sandbar ones. They also plot out, and I am skipping over that way too fast and not getting full details. Sorry, I was trying to find. I guess it's not in that one. It's in the Bosnian pyramid one. I thought it was this one that he shows this giant indentation, like rectangle of what looks like sunken land, and it's this deep trench right next to Panama and Ecuador off of the coast of Central America, and that there's missing geoglyph sites in that massive ruin or something, but it wasn't illustrated in this one. It's in the Bosnian pyramid one. And yeah, that's about that. That's about all the energy I got in me. Also, shout out APEC, Tim Ventura. Shout out Charlie C. We got to have Charlie C on. Shout out, oh my goodness. Why am I having, I'm just going to say, Esoteric Gold. There we go. Michael, we also have to have on to do more of the Adept Alchemy, the Ormus. That's what we're looking at here. We also have to get back with Steve Ellswick at Tesla Tech, get myself a presentation on there. And I'm going to be doing more with Esoteric Gold, going over the Ormus, David Hudson's patent, specifically reviewing that stuff, as well as Jeremiah Pop back on, as well as every Friday we got be doing shout out to Mike over at Faraday Research, as well as Gerald at WPG Enlighten for Truth, and the Free Energy Fridays we're going to be doing, as well as Ominous coming back, as well as Thomas coming back, as well as shout out to Julia Cameron, of course, on her epic journey right now. She's almost done a road trip, almost in, I believe, wherever Contact in the Desert, I believe it is. Either way, some epic event that is the end of it, that she will be finally able to start rejoining to do podcasts again. That's why she's been absent here, as well as we will be doing back out this Wednesday with Hans Dietrich and maybe Angel Wings, I believe, hopefully on. We will be doing something soon. Aaron Corbett, we will be doing something soon as well. My God, I got to get back with Mark, Falcon Space, see what he's been doing. A lot more real science. We'll be doing have Zerdis on with more. And Blake Lemoyne, I will have to have back on and get into the depths and deepness of AI, as well as shout out LA, Lucius Aurelian on next weekend, doing a collab on the 5 eras we're going to be covering. So much more. But I'm exhausted. Need to get to bed. Love you all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Maybe tomorrow. Ta-ta.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just Bernie.